The truth about porn fantasy versus reality. We've all seen it. Maybe you stumbled across it accidentally when you were younger, or maybe it's become a regular part of your life. We're talking about porn, and the truth is, it can be a difficult subject to talk about, but it's important because the fantasy world presented in porn often clashes with the reality of sex and relationships. Have you ever felt like you don't measure up to what you see on screen? Do you worry about your own performance or feel pressure to look a certain way? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the truth about porn, exploring its impact on our expectations, relationships, and even our own self-image. We'll learn how to separate fantasy from reality and develop healthier attitudes towards sex and intimacy. Stay tuned, because this is a conversation you don't want to miss. So let's talk about unrealistic expectations. We're constantly bombarded with images of perfect bodies, flawless skin, and seemingly effortless sexual encounters. It's easy to internalize these images and start comparing ourselves to this idealized version of reality. Imagine a young man named Alex exploring his sexuality. He turns to the internet and gets drawn into the world of porn. But what Alex sees isn't real life. It's a fantasy. Carefully constructed with professional actors, lighting, and editing, this can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-consciousness. Remember, what you see on screen is not a reflection of your worth. It's just entertainment, and it's important to consume it with a critical eye. Seek out diverse representations, and remember, you are not alone. Let's talk about another tricky aspect of the porn fantasy performance pressure. We've all felt the weight of expectations, whether it's acing a presentation at work or trying to impress on a first date. But when it comes to sex, the pressure to perform can be incredibly daunting. Imagine a young woman named Sarah. She's been with her partner for a while, and their sex life has been good. But lately, she's been feeling anxious. She can't help but compare their intimate moments to the effortless passion she sees in porn. She starts to worry that she's not good enough, that she's not responding the right way, or that her body doesn't move with the same confidence as the performers she sees on screen. This pressure to perform can be paralyzing. It takes us out of the moment and makes it difficult to relax and enjoy the experience. It's like trying to play a beautiful piece of music on the piano while someone stands over your shoulder, constantly critiquing your every note. You become so focused on getting it right that you forget to actually feel the music. Here's the thing. Real-life intimacy is not a performance. It's not about hitting the right marks or achieving a specific outcome. It's about connection, vulnerability, and shared pleasure. It's about exploring each other's bodies and desires with curiosity and respect. So how do we let go of this performance pressure? One tip is to shift your focus from performance to connection. Instead of worrying about how you look or what your partner might be thinking, try to stay present in your body and in the moment. Focus on the sensations, the emotions, and the intimacy you're sharing with your partner. Remember, sex is a dance, not a solo act. Chapter 3. Now let's address the elephant in the room, objectification. Porn often portrays people, particularly women, as objects of sexual desire, existing solely for the pleasure of the viewer. This can have a harmful impact on how we view ourselves and others, blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. Let me tell you a story about a young man named David. David is a good guy, but he's been consuming a lot of porn, and it's starting to affect his relationships. He's finding it difficult to see women as whole people with their own thoughts, feelings, and desires. He starts to objectify women in his life, focusing on their physical attributes rather than their personalities or intellect. This objectification can manifest in subtle ways, like making inappropriate comments about someone's body or reducing them to their sexual attributes. It can also lead to more harmful behaviors like disrespecting boundaries or engaging in sexual harassment. The problem with objectification is that it dehumanizes people. It strips them of their individuality and reduces them to a collection of body parts. It creates a dangerous power dynamic where one person is seen as an object for the other person's gratification. So how do we combat objectification? It starts with recognizing that everyone deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, or how they choose to express their sexuality. It's about challenging our own biases and being mindful of how our words and actions might impact others. One tip for fostering mutual respect and understanding is to engage in open and honest conversations with your partner about your values and boundaries. Talk about how porn might be influencing your perceptions and work together to create a safe and respectful space for intimacy. Now let's talk about a difficult but important topic: porn addiction. While porn can be enjoyed responsibly by adults, for some it can become an addiction that negatively impacts their lives. Imagine a young woman named Emily. Emily is struggling with a porn addiction. What started as a way to unwind after a long day has spiraled into an obsession that's consuming her thoughts and affecting her relationships. She's isolated herself from friends and family, and her work performance is suffering. She feels ashamed and alone, trapped in a cycle of craving and shame. Porn addiction is a very real issue, and it's important to remember that addiction doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of their age, gender, or background. The science behind addiction is complex, but it essentially involves changes in the brain's reward pathways, leading to compulsive behaviors despite negative consequences. The good news is that there is help available. If you're struggling with porn addiction, know that you're not alone. There are therapists and support groups specifically equipped to help you understand and overcome this addiction. Recovery is possible, and there is hope for a healthier and more fulfilling life. One tip for managing porn use is to set healthy boundaries. This might involve limiting your exposure, choosing alternative activities, or seeking professional help. Remember, it's okay to ask for help, and there's no shame in seeking support. Chapter 5. Finally, let's talk about how porn can impact communication in relationships. When we consume porn in secret or without addressing its influence, it can create a wedge between partners, leading to misunderstandings, resentment, and a breakdown in communication. Imagine a couple, Mark and Jessica. They love each other, but their sex life has become strained. Mark has been watching a lot of porn, and it's starting to affect his expectations and desires. He's finding it difficult to communicate his needs to Jessica, and she's feeling insecure and rejected. They're stuck in a cycle of miscommunication and frustration, unsure how to bridge the gap. The key to overcoming this communication breakdown is open and honest dialogue. It's about creating a safe space for both partners to share their feelings, concerns, and desires without fear of judgment. It's about acknowledging the influence of porn and working together to find a balance that works for both partners. One tip for having these difficult conversations is to approach them with empathy and understanding. Remember that you're on the same team, and the goal is to strengthen your connection, not to place blame. Start by expressing your own feelings and concerns, and then actively listen to your partner's perspective. So there you have it. We've explored the truth about porn, from its unrealistic expectations and performance pressures to its potential for objectification, addiction, and communication breakdowns. Remember, it's crucial to approach porn with a critical eye, recognizing its potential impact on our perceptions, relationships, and self-image. If you found this conversation helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Share your thoughts, experiences, and any tips you might have for navigating the complex world of porn and its influence on our lives. Remember, as the wise Oprah Winfrey once said, "The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate." Embrace your sexuality with confidence, respect, and open communication. Thanks for watching.